Here we go. And hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming devices, content providers, new things coming to Netflix, and...
What?
I mean, pretty much any week you can say, there's new things coming to Netflix! And you know what? We'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, I am Clyde, and today I am joined by my buddy Matthew Ross.
Hello, Clyde.
I'm going to stop pointing because I never get it right. And Jimmy Trammell.
How's it going, Clyde? And it is true. We do get something new every week from Netflix.
Yes, we do.
There's very few things in life that you can count on. And luckily, that is one of them.
Well, actually, almost all the streaming services bring you something new all the time. But it seems like Netflix is prolific with it. I mean, it's just
Netflix is the one where it's like almost newsworthy. Where there's a lot of things that are released every week on other platforms that nobody really cares about.
Yeah.
True.
A lot of those, I think I'm the only one that cares about. Like some of the Hulu originals that I absolutely love. But,
well, that's cool.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
It is the end of July, which means it is about to be August, which means it's time for me to stop trying to get these cool things working that I'm kind of working on at school time during the summer and start actually, getting all the things in order for school. So crunch time.
Yeah, it's almost back to school time for you.
And I know.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I'm so pissed. It's like I haven't had a chance to really do anything.
Are we coming up on our 1-year anniversary here shortly?
I think we are here in about a week.
What?
Yeah, something like
Next
that. It was August last year, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
You've been on
how
for a
about that?
year?
I know, it's scary.
I'm so sorry.
Originally, I was going to save that bumper for the anniversary show, but,
What?
No, I was just saying, well, we had to, we used it because it made sense and there was no reason
it's
to sit
an
on
arbitrary thing. It's a year, whatever. It's just a thing, right? It doesn't really matter. It all doesn't matter. Why don't we celebrate the fact that we've almost been a year? Yay!
I think this would have been about the time that we did the test episode that will never see the light of day.
Oh, that episode was awesome.
It
If
was.
somebody has a copy of that.
It is, I do.
Ooh, a bonus episode.
Yeah.
Secret episode 0.
Maybe when we launch the Patreon, we'll give the
What?
upper echelons of Patreon patrons access to that one.
Yeah, you got to pay up front for that one. Yeah.
Deep into the archives. We'll dust that one off in a couple of
And
years.
watch our really crappy first episode. Yeah. See how bad it is when you start.
Well, I'm not the first. I'm talking about the test episode. The one where we did it just to see how it would go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was surprising. It was not awful, and we learned some things, and we're still learning some things. And you know what else is changing? DiamondClub.tv.
Oh,
Well,
what's going on?
I mean, the powers that be are shifting, and so there is a concerted effort to rebuild it from the ground up. So there is anybody that's watching this, please go out. There's a link, dctv.link/2017. That will get you to the survey where you can let us know, hey, these are the things I really don't care about. I really do care about. I have feedback. And, you can help us shape this thing. I suggest that everybody go out there and
Mhm.
fill it out at least once.
Multiple. You can stuff the ballot box. Put
I
in
don't know.
multiple names.
I don't know actually how that would work. I was surprised, kind of, by how many responses we've gotten so far. Looking at the thing, and look, I was really surprised by some of the info, I guess, in those responses. But as W. Scottis one says in the chat, yes, it helps a ton.
Okay.
So I expect both of you to go out and do this after the show.
Absolutely.
I
But
already have.
not right now. Not right now. We've
I
got a
actually
show
already
to do.
have. I did it earlier. I was playing Koi earlier. So.
Oh, all right.
And I will do it after the show.
Okay.
I did it just because I had to test it. But now
Are you a beta tester for everything and everybody?
kind of.
Are you like on the short list for Elon Musk's next rocket? You know, if you need somebody, just call me up. I'll take a
No,
ride.
I think
Sure.
Elon Musk's stuff is where I draw the line because I've never really been interested in anything he's doing.
You don't want to take a rocket ship? Low Earth orbit? Come on.
Well, I might do low Earth orbit, yeah. I don't want to be on the Mars one that he's talking about.
You don't want to buy the test.
Or and I really don't care about the Hyperloop or the Hyperloop Hotel or the
Solar panels?
I don't own property. I don't own any place worth investing in solar panels. So and then plus up here it's really hard because we're so far north and we don't get a whole lot of the sunshine. It's on directly. So very minimal. Not like down in Florida where you can pretty much.
Is Minnesota in the line of the eclipse next month?
I
Probably
don't know.
not. I don't believe so. I know that I am where I am at. Can I get a 90% eclipse? If I wanted to take a 4-hour drive south into Oregon, I could see the full thing. But that day, my school is doing some classes for everybody, and I'm teaching a little bit of Google Classroom and Google Drive to all my teachers. So we're going to be taking about a 20-minute break during the eclipse to everybody go outside and using the proper eyewear because we've got that. We're going to go watch the solar eclipse part of the day.
I'd say I had a buddy that drove an eclipse, but it didn't go in a straight line. So.
But the question, did when you looked at the eclipse, could you see light from behind it?
All I could see was desperation.
Oh, I thought you saw the light
sadness.
from the train behind it before it got smashed, right? The silhouette of the. Okay. Never mind.
I just saw the sadness in his eyes when I would remind him, dude, that's a girl's car.
Ooh, ouch. All right.
All right, and with that, why don't we move on to some news?
Sure. We've
Let's
got a story here. YouTube TV just tripled its footprint, and it's not launched in 10 more markets. The big news here is that it has moved out into a lot of new areas. To name those areas that they're in there now is Washington, D.C., Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, Detroit, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Daytona Beach, Melbourne, Charlotte, and Dallas-Fort Worth. And I think that means that's both of you guys, right?
Yeah.
is.
I was at it in the last round.
Oh, okay.
And then...
And Michael, he's...
Yep.
Now he's covered in it, too. I'm just left without it, and I'm the one who wants it.
I really need to check it out.
Man.
Yeah, I want to. Me too. I want to test it out, just see what it's like, and all. But I don't know. With a lot of these services, that come up like that. No, I mean it's good, and I think it's the more the merrier. The more choices we have, I think the better it is. But would I stay with it? I don't know. If I like it well enough, of course, right? But I don't know, Hulu and Netflix and HBO are the three services I'm always going to subscribe to, right? And if one of those services offers a streaming, a live TV streaming service, that's probably the one I'm going to go with. And right now that's Hulu, right?
Well,
Yeah.
So
YouTube focuses mostly on the local channels at the ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. In fact, on all their markets, they've got ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, except apparently here, Dallas Fort Worth, where they're missing ABC, and they're only getting on-demand stuff from them. So that's for me. That's the thing I want. If I can have that, that will supplement all the local things I want to get. And then I can go ahead and cut the cord for everything else and pick something else to go with it, like a Sling TV. I can't wait. And also, it has that awesome DVR built in. I'm excited. I just wish it worked with more devices, since right now it only works with Chromecast.
Yeah.
We're working on
Android TV, or an Android TV.
No.
Right? No?
No. It works with Chromecast, which
that's
works
right.
with Android
We're
TV.
like, what the hell, Google?
Doesn't work with it yet. No
like...
Roku, no Android TV, no Apple TV, no Fire Stick, no. Yeah, I mean, it's just
I'm
Chromecast.
sure it's coming.
And it's also doing AirPlay as well. If you have an iPhone and an Apple TV, you can AirPlay with it too.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah, I was interested in trying it, but I can't. So
Chromecast. I mean, what is that? $30 or something like that?
Yeah.
I never liked using the Chromecast because I want a remote. I don't want to have to use my phone.
Wait a second. Aren't you the one that said you don't want to have to reach for the all the different remotes?
No, I don't want to change inputs on my TV.
That's right. You don't care how many remotes you have. You can have 20 of them next to you. It's just that one.
No, because
button
as long as I've
remote.
got something in my hand where the buttons or my thumb knows where the buttons are, that's all I care about.
That's so weird. Okay.
Still, though, I'm going to give this a try when it comes to my area, though.
I'm definitely going to give it a try when it comes. All right. Next story we have is it's been a week of amazing releases of trailers, all thanks to Comic-Con. I like to call this Trailer Palooza. To just name a few, we have Justice League, Stranger Things 2, Thor 3, Bright, The Defenders, Ready Player One, and so much more. In fact, the article I have here actually lists 41 different trailers for shows and movies. It's ridiculous.
I'm excited about some of these. Not all of them, but some of them I'm definitely excited about.
Oh, man.
You know, I see no mention of the thing that I was super excited about.
What's that?
Psych the movie. 3
Psych.
3 years after the show's end, they're doing another movie. It's coming out around Christmas. They had a panel at Comic-Con and showed kind of a funny, not really... trailer, but
there's 46 of them here. So did you go through all 46? Maybe it's in there.
Maybe.
Yeah,
not.
it's separated by pages. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to go through it all. So
maybe
I'm super excited about many of these. I'm totally really just like everybody else enthralled with going to see Stranger Things 2 when it comes out. I'm kind of into The Defenders. I'm kind of, cautiously optimistic about that one. Ready Player One, I need to finish the book before I watch it, but yeah, I mean, that's pure popcorn movie, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Matt, with the Defenders. I'm optimistic on that one, too. I think it's going to be entertaining. Will it make my top 10 of all time list? I don't know, maybe not. But I think it's going to be entertaining to watch.
Actually, the one I'm oddly really excited to see, and it's really weird because it's not really my kind of genre, and it's not really, I'm not big on Will Smith, but Bright. I really kind of want to see that. That looks like it could be really good.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It does.
That does look entertaining.
The one thing that's on the list that I'm actually kind of excited for is Orville.
Oh, yes. Yes, I am excited about that one, too.
There's relatively very low possibility that I will subscribe to CBS at all, let alone would I do it to watch the Star Treks. But I'll watch the Orville. That looks funny.
It looks extremely dry at points. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it might hit the right tone. It might miss. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, looking through that list, there's some awesome stuff. Like Rocco's Modern Life is coming back.
I know. What the heck is up with that?
I was like, yay! I love Rocco. A lot of stuff that we expected to come back, like Lucifer and Voltron and
Ultron.
Stand Against Evil. If you guys haven't watched that, it's really funny on IFC.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What? Okay, I'm going to show my ignorance here.
Okay.
Robot Chicken. What is that about?
Oh, yeah. That's been on Adult Swim for years. It's Seth or not Seth. What's his name? Green.
Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green and a bunch of people. They do like parodies, like short parodies of pop culture and TV.
And just imagine a variety show with stop animation and other things that's hilarious, taking current events and taking popular culture.
Where the Easter Bunny, the girl wakes up to hear the Easter Bunny's in the house murdering her family and stuff like that.
It's very adult, yeah. It's not for kids, but and I've not watched a lot, but every time I do happen to catch it, it is hilarious.
And a lot of time there will be the actual people being parodied will be doing the voices,
right?
So it's fun. You can find it. I think old episodes on Hulu.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
You'll enjoy. I'm sure you'll find something that's good out of that.
All right. Well,
we have a story here about Sling TV, and it's being one of the very first providers to provide a pay-per-view display, a pay-per-view play. Which it looks like what they're doing is they're doing a UFC pay-per-view, which you will be able to go ahead and call them up and get yourself your very first pay-per-view show over a streaming service. Which I don't know how big this is, because you've had other services where you can just rent something for an hour, but
I mean it's
the fact that it's live is the big difference.
I don't know much about UFC, but this is, I think, supposed to be a really big match. So
yeah, it is, and I can kind of see the play what they're going after here, right? So, I mean, this is what HBO and Showtime's been doing for a while now, with boxing and all, and so I think they're taking advantage that a lot of the cord cutters are maybe not that much into sports, or rather than paying this big price for pay-per-view, they can just wait a couple of weeks and view it for free with the services they already have, that kind of thing. So I think maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to step in there, or maybe there's a lot of people who probably they've done some sort of study that people who watch the UFC and would pay for the pay-per-view might be more apt to cut the cord. So
yeah, and that's one of those things. If you can get a hot commodity or a item that there is a large demand for, and you put it behind a paywall where you have no choice, then the hope is when you drum up that business that they'll stick around for a while. Doesn't always work out, but it's interesting to me that they picked the UFC, because the UFC has a app and a subscription service already, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you were a big UFC this
fan,
would be
wouldn't you subscribe to that?
Well, this would be a lot. It's a special event, just like WWF. They've got their thing, but when they do like a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania, it's not on the app. You have to go to wherever it is behind the paywall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that's how it is here. So
it seems like that a couple of little things mentioned in this article is that Epix has been moved into the lower tiers of the Sling TV, which is nice. And also the Reels channel has shown up into where Epix used to be inside the Fan4 Festival, or whatever the channel is, Hollywood Extra bundle. And actually, I really enjoyed the Reels channel when I got that. There was a lot of cool stuff on that, a lot of back behind the scenes stuff, a lot of movies that were actually good. So yeah, cool stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Rock on. And then, dude, I heard something.
What?
I heard that Roku's #1.
No, they're like.
No, I'm pretty sure they're
no,
number one.
You have to be wrong. You're totally wrong. Obviously, the dominator in the market is some big company like Apple or something like that.
That's what the Apple company keeps telling me. They keep telling me that I'm missing out, that I need a Apple TV.
Yeah, well,
and I'm like one of the only people in the country that doesn't have an Apple TV.
No, I know. Jeez, why aren't you getting one? Jeez.
I almost fell for it, and then I saw this article.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
this article
has
says
more users than Google, Chromecast, and Amazon Fire TV, and Apple's is way behind. Looks like they're talking about the numbers of various monthly users here. So Roku is on top with 38.9 monthly users as of this month on average. And many of the other ones are not very far behind with like 36.9 million, 35.8 million for Amazon Fire TV and for Chromecast, respectively. But it looks like Apple is actually at the end of the pack here with only 21.3 monthly viewers.
And that doesn't sound like a lot until you realize, oh, wait, you have to add together the other three. That's over 100 million to 21.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the sentence in this article that's most interesting to me is the study says that 168.1 million Americans will use connected TV devices this year in total, which is a rise in a 10% year over year.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And also another thing to keep in mind, this is accounts. This is not devices. Because, for example, I have a Roku account. On my Roku account, I have like 3 or 4 devices. So of those 38.9 million users, there are multiple devices.
Right.
But it goes on to talk about the expected that the expectation, like you said, they've had that 10% growth year over year. I mean, we talked about, was it 2 weeks ago, that already this year Roku users have streamed over like 8 billion hours of content, and and that's just since the beginning of the year. Yeah, Nate, because Google and Amazon are predicted to have 64 million and 62.6 million respectively in the coming years, whereas Roku's expected to have as many as 69 million monthly users in the U.S. I'm kind of surprised, and when we started seeing this stuff a few weeks back, I was surprised because I knew that Roku was popular, and I knew that people liked it. I mean, I like it. And I just didn't realize how dominant it has been.
Well, you have to remember last year, Google was actually in first place, with their really cheap Chromecast. They dominated the market when they came in because nobody had anything for the $35 level, and everybody rushed out and bought it. It was a hot ticket for a little while. Because everybody else was selling a $99 box or maybe $69 box if you could. Now everybody, Roku is also selling you a $35 unit, and I believe Amazon's on that level too. So that means that you like you said, you have one account and multiple devices. I bet you there's a lot of multiple device users in the Roku spectrum and fewer multiple device users in the Apple spectrum.
Yeah, and that's one thing
is a deal.
They point out in the article is that the Apple TV starts at $149, where the other 3 brands have streaming dongles that start in the $30 to $40 range.
Apple will absolutely be able to catch up if they update their product, because they haven't done it in 2 years, and so come out with something new. Everybody who's super into Apple will immediately buy one. Of course,
the rumors are that they'll finally release a 4K device sometime either later this year or maybe early next year.
It's about time.
If Apple stays to suit, they will probably lower the price on their current model to so they can keep selling that one for a lot less, and so you'll be able to get more people will be able to into them. And because it's a release of a model and it's perfectly good, unless with
the lowered price, you'll be able to get an old Apple TV that doesn't support 4K, Or you can buy a brand new Roku that does support 4K. That's the brand new, all the
Right.
bells and whistles.
But the
Very
thing is,
like
I mean, but didn't we see that article where there's not so many 4K televisions being sold anyway?
No,
where?
there's more and more. It's they haven't reached saturation. It's steadily increasing year over year. Just
Yeah.
like when 1080 was introduced many years ago, it wasn't really a big rush. It's the thing that as people replace TVs, so eventually I would say that 4K is close to reaching ubiquity. Which
Well, I
is
mean, of course, this is very anecdotal, right? But of the four of us, right, on the VOD squad, only one of us has a 4K television.
yep. And that's because I'm clinging to my plasma. They'll have to pry my plasma from my cold dead hands,
Oh,
Yeah.
along with a couple other things.
But yeah, big numbers there, of connected devices all together, right? You total them all up. I mean, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I think soon we'll be. I'd say within probably 2 or 3 years, we'll probably be at 200 million.
easily,
Easily.
Yeah.
easily. Now there was one other story you kind of skipped over.
No, that was put at the end for a reason.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think you changed the order on me. Or I just got it in the wrong order. Sony has got a new deal with small cable operators. This new deal is, hey, you want to sell your cable and you sell your internet? Great. Sell our service too. So you can go ahead and get a little kickback from us and not have to deal with the fact that you need to have DVRs and have the content deals and all of that. And guess what? You can have this awesome service that, and also we'll also be able to sell our service as well. Smart move, Sony.
Yeah. So the question is, if PlayStation Vue is being sold by your local cable provider,
Mm-hmm.
what's the difference between cable or the PlayStation Vue cable and traditional cable?
Interesting.
Well, that's very true, right? I mean, when you talk about streaming live TV, that is true, right? There is no difference really, right? But when you talk about the video on demand and, how user friendly it is, those kind of things, then I think the PlayStation Vue would win out.
Yeah. And and I'm interested because they mention that smaller cable providers they're being offered this. So is this a situation where they would essentially not need to provide their traditional service anymore? They just pipe PlayStation Vue into people's houses to their box?
that is an excellent question. I don't know how they are doing this. I would love to be able to find one of these small providers, look at their webpage, and see what they say.
Yeah.
But I would guess that people still want their local channels, and I'm guessing that not everybody, especially in smaller provider areas, has their locals. So I'm guessing that you could still get at least your locals over the cable, but everything else would make sense to be. Why bother?
Yeah, my guess is they're probably got some manufacturer making a proprietary box, and they're able to feed in the PlayStation Vue on one of the channels.
And that's what I was thinking. Kind of like the hotel, like you were talking about at the hotel with
exactly
with
at Las Vegas. Right.
And and it mentions in here that NCTC also recently struck a deal with Fubo TV to let members resell the company's sports-centric over-the-top streaming TV bundle. So, it looks like you'll be able to get the PlayStation Vue with the bells and whistles. And, I mean, so if you're in a smaller community or a community that's served by a smaller cable provider and they say, hey, don't leave us, we can, give us some money and we can provide you with PlayStation Vue, is that something that's appealing?
Yeah, I think for the reasons I said before, right? I mean,
Yeah.
user interface,
Hmm.
the video on demand would probably, be better. All those kind of things, and especially like with PlayStation View, you've got the built-in DVR features in there.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, if it gives a better user experience, then yeah, I think it would be of value. If not, though, I mean, if it's just exactly, okay, we're just throwing it in here, we're giving you the live service via streaming, and maybe just not much better user experience on
Hmm.
on all the other features, then the answer would be no, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how it's implemented, in other words.
Yeah. You know, and this touches on an interesting subject,
Hmm.
which I wanted to ask you guys about because I read an article recently
Hmm.
that said that posited that cord cutting is not really a thing.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
they
Explain this to
yeah.
me.
So they make these points that people have been talking about cord cutting forever,
Hmm.
and but but all people are really doing is they're trading their traditional cable company for an internet cable company. So in that case, is are you really cutting a cord? You're just exchanging one cord for the other, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to find out from you guys what do you think? What do you think of this idea that is cord cutting actually a thing?
Jimmy, you want to go first?
I can. So I can understand the premise there of saying, hey, you're just trading one medium for another, right? You could certainly make an argument there. Um, but the thing is, I mean, as we all know, and I think all three of us are cord cutters, right? It's quite a different experience, going from, traditional cable TV where it's live all the time. And if you want to watch a certain TV show, oh, well, I have to be there at Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, that type of thing.
Yeah,
To whereas a cord cutter, right? You never have to think about that at all. It's just, oh, hey, I'm in the mood to watch this show. I turn it on, right?
yeah,
And there it is. And that's the big difference, at least for me. That's the big difference, to where I don't have to live by their schedule. I live by mine, right? So, and I think that's way a lot of people are. I think most cord cutters, I think that's the big number one, the high order bit, right? Is to be able to watch TV when you're ready to watch it
hmm
on what device you want to watch it on, right? And to where traditional cable is, um, is not like that at all. Now, I will add this part too. I think some of what comes into play here too is demographics. My parents, for example, are in their 70s. They will never be a cord cutter. They will stick to traditional cable. And I think I could pare that down into people who are in their 60s, most of who all are in their 50s. But when you start getting into the 40s, I don't know. I think there's where it starts to change,
yeah.
right?
Because you've got a lot of people entering into the 40s like me
Hmm.
that are dragging that along with. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at Mike. Mike is in his 40s, right? I mean, I'm in my 50s, right? But I'm a cord cutter,
mhm.
and but I would say most people who are in their 50s, probably are not going to. They might think about it, or maybe they'll have a streaming device, but would they cut the cord in their 50s? Probably most of them won't. I would say.
Yeah,
But when you get into the 40s, I think that's where the opinions about cord cutting start to change.
So I think I know why people in their 50s, 60s, 70s don't cut the cord. They are mostly the kind of people who are sitting and watching TV in the traditional way. And the traditional way, of course, sitting on the couch or a nice lazy boy, get your remote, turn on the TV, flip through the channels.
Hmm.
When you guys have, younger people who have other ways that they want to consume their media. Like, let's say you are my age, 37, and you've been dealing with computers your whole life, and maybe you want to watch something on your computer. Well, it's hard to watch cable on your computer or your laptop. And now we have people with phones and other devices, and they want to be able to watch it from their devices that they're used to using. So tablets and iPads and phones, and suddenly it's even harder to watch cable on those. In fact, the cable is plugged into this box in your house, and it's designed to go straight to your TV for the best experience. And sure, there are other ways to get that signal from your cable company onto your device with like maybe an app or something, but it's not the primary purpose of it. So those people were looking for a different way to getting their stuff. And so I think the cable, if we're going to take the literal version of cutting the cord, it's not about cutting cable. It's about making it so I'm not tied to this cable television.
Yep.
I can watch it on other devices as well.
See, and that leads into my question. My first question was, what is cord cutting? So, I mean, what exactly is cord cutting? And I've got an idea, but based on like my experience, but I was just curious what you guys think would, and I think you guys touched on it a little bit, because like in the early days there weren't options. So when you cut the cable, you cut the cable. Hopefully you could get some like over the air, and that's where the term comes from. You just cold turkey, done. And then you get by with what you can get. I would say newer, now that we've gotten to the point where these services are so ubiquitous that maybe that term is applied way too liberally. There are still people cutting the cord. They're going without. Like, I don't use any of these all-in-one online cable providers. So I would consider myself a cord cutter. I watch the things I want when I want on the devices that I want. Tom would be proud. And like even Tom Merritt has said in the past, it's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's about control. But I still think that there is a case for cord cutting. Do you think I'm off base in like?
I think it makes sense that we should upgrade our terminology one way or another. Either we have
platform agnostic.
Well, yeah. Well, you either have I'm a cord cutter, which means I'm not getting my television from the cable company, but I am getting it from a company over my cable internet or whatever. And a cord cutter, which is I'm not getting traditional TV at all. I'm paying for specific episodes using services, or I'm using a specific service for what I want. So,
because like what I was getting at is changing the delivery method is no different than going from coax cable to satellite. You're getting the essentially same package that you're paying for in a different format, or provided you over a different format. In this case, it's coming over the internet. So I wouldn't consider that personally. I don't think I would consider that cord cutting.
The big difference is, and this is true of this, the big difference is you can take that signal anywhere, except for PlayStation View. You can go anywhere and, watch the same stuff that you could at home. Now, you could say, hey, but the satellite guys, I could set up an antenna anywhere too, and technically that's true. And is that cord cutting? That's a good question. That's blurring the lines again. But that lower level of cord cutting, which we need to actually have a better term for, like TV agnostic, whatever you want to call it. That definitely fits into that category too. So, and also the other big thing about cord cutting that is a huge deal is hey, I want to get this one thing that costs a little bit of time, cost me like a month's worth of, but I only want 1 month. Cable doesn't do that.
Yeah, and that's the big, and I think that's really one of the really compelling reasons. When people ask me why would I ever want to get cable over the internet when I can just get cable the way I'm already getting it. And aside from the convenience of watching on any device, there's the lack of contracts where I can just say, hey, PlayStation View, I don't like you right now. And they go, okay.
Whatever.
You know, Sling TV still sends me cards pretty much every holiday saying, hey, we miss you. And it's been almost a year since we tried them out.
Well, you know, too, I mean, you go back in time, and I'm old enough to remember this, right? But, you know, TV as a kid, you know, there was no cable at all. It was just an antenna that you would stick out the side of your house, and you'd watch broadcast TV, you know, over an antenna. And, you know, you'd watch that, and, you know, and back then we thought that was a pretty good picture, right? You know, I mean, you had the 3 channels to choose from, right? You know, which one you was going to watch. And, so, you know, and that was pretty good. We thought it was good. And then all of a sudden they started offering this new service, cable. And they're like, hey, well, you can plug up this coaxial cable up to your TV. And wow, look at how clear the picture is, right? You know, it was like a complete game changer.
Almost full 480p resolution on your 22-inch massive 22-inch screen.
You went from the 180 resolution up to 480p almost. Yeah. And just it was such a big difference in the clarity of the picture and all, and you got so many more channels rather than just the 3, right? And you know, that was a big game changer, you know. And at the time, cable back then was like, oh wow, yeah, you got to get it, you know, and everything. Well, yeah, and that's the way it stayed, and even now it's still, you know, really the dominant source even now, right? I mean, yeah, you got satellite and things like that, and the resolution's gotten better, right? Both on the satellite as well as cable, but still basically about that same thing. But now we're really starting to have another game changer, right? Because the user experience is in my opinion at least, completely different than, you know, cable service is, right? Yeah, you can argue, well, it's just cable comes over a coaxial wire. The internet will come over some similar. It may too even come over the same coaxial wire, right? But it'll come over a medium too, and you have to pay for that, and then you have to pay for whatever. You know, maybe you're not saving any money, but you know, but television ever since really people in general really quit caring about saving money on television. Most people did ever since they decided to start paying the price for cable, right? Yeah. Because you know, if you want the cheapest, then put up an antenna and just watch broadcast television. It's free.
You know,
right?
and like I view this topic a lot like people who quit smoking but they start vaping, right? It doesn't matter. You quit one thing, you're still a smoker, right? You're just not smoking the same stuff. And, you know, yeah, maybe one in the long run is a little bit better or a little bit worse, but you're still essentially doing the same thing. It's just a different delivery method, right?
I remember when I was a kid and we had that cable box with the dial, the cable box. And of course, up in the 30s somewhere was HBO. And of course, we were kids and we wanted to see this show that was too adult for us on HBO downstairs in the basement. And if you changed it to the channel and kind of tweak with it just a little bit, it wouldn't make it perfectly clear, but it would be clear enough that you could see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hear, and you just and then you don't touch it.
My first color TV, and this will kind of age me. My first color TV was a CRT monitor off of an Apple IIe clone by Epson, I think it was.
Epson, okay.
And so it had just the standard like RCA cable that just the single one that came up. I could plug it into the back of this old Betamax machine that I had found.
Wow.
Which was beautiful because it had the click dials on it for the tuner, So Showtime, or sorry, yeah, Showtime and Skinamax. At
Mhm.
night, you could dial that thing and tune it in. Um, so yeah, that's where I got a chance to. That's how in my late junior high, early high school years was able to watch Andrew Dice Clay and um, like what's his face from like Rescue Me, smoking guy, but Dennis Leary, you know, a lot of those comedy
Mhm.
specials
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And but I do remember like in the 80s it was a big deal that every TV show had an episode where the main character got the password to access the dirty movie channel.
yeah.
Like I remember Silver Spoons, I think was one of them, where because they had a sophisticated cable box where you had to punch in a physical code. It had like a lockout for specific channels because at that point you just got channels. Whether,
Right.
you know, they just piped it out so everybody was getting the Playboy channel or whatever at one period. You know, if your cable box had to be big enough to like support it. So they if you wanted like this one premium, well it came with all of these premium channels too. And so there had to be a way to lock it out so kids didn't
And that poses a question: is there a Playboy channel streaming service?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
oh, probably. I mean, but
I don't know.
we've gotten to the world where that's not even something that people need to wonder about anymore. Basically, anything you want, it's out there,
Yeah.
in one form or another. Uh, but yeah, and you know, I like I said, I I think the term cutter
Mhm.
is thrown around a little too liberally.
Well, we need another term.
Yeah, and that's where the term streamer I think comes
Okay.
in, but you
Mm.
know, where someone they stream everything, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh,
streamer.
yeah.
But do you want to be a streamer? Because when I think of a
Yeah,
streamer,
man.
I think about someone running around with those streamers, you know. Maybe at the end of
Yeah,
a counterculture parade or something.
but yeah, I don't even know if that makes sense to me because I mean, what do you call somebody that subscribes to cable? You don't call them a cabler, right? They just, you know, what do you do for television?
I
Well,
watch cable. I've got cable. I've got
yeah,
cable.
I've got cable, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So, so what do you do for television? Well, I've got Netflix and Hulu. Right? I don't subscribe to cable.
Yeah. When people ask, well, how do you watch TV? Is like I just watch.
Yeah.
What are you watching
Whatever.
on? Well, how much time do you have?
I
Because
do
it's kind of
everything.
convoluted, and half the time I don't know what's on when or where. Like I just found out last week that Suits has been back on USA for 2 weeks, so I had missed two episodes. I don't know what day that show is on. So
Me either.
I watched those 2 episodes, but I don't know when to go back to check.
There's this awesome utility on the internet called Google.
Yeah, but that's on my computer. I'm watching it on a device over there, you know. But but that's just one of many shows that are like that, where it's like
Mhm.
I honestly couldn't tell you. Half the time I don't even remember. When I sit Preacher's back, I sit down to watch Preacher, and I have to go. Was that AMC or FX? Which this is the case where the online cable providers with their DVRs make sense because it's not something I used to have to worry about with my TiVo. With my TiVo, it freed me from scheduling. All I had to do was I go, okay, I want to watch something. What's in my queue? Oh, I've got all these shows to choose from. But now I have to go, okay, I want to watch something. And I have to I blindly go in and search around in apps, hoping that something that I want is available. Which is why I'll typically go to Hulu, because Hulu has been keeping track of their watch list is dynamic. And so when you go in there, it'll show you the shows that you watch, and it'll show you how many episodes are unwatched.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'll usually go because it's easy. I just go in there and I go, nothing. Okay. Now
Right.
I'm on my own. But and that's kind of a case where, like I said, I miss the DVR,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't miss the giant bill for where because you're paying for live TV, and I don't want live TV. I can't justify spending $60 to PlayStation View for the channels I want just to have an online DVR.
I agree. I don't need live TV either. If I could watch the show 10 minutes after it finished airing on live TV, and I have to wait an hour or a day or whatever, and to be able to watch it on a different service and pay a lot less, totally into that. But if you want, there are those shows where you have to watch it live. If you want to watch the big game, if you want to watch the award ceremony and be able to talk to people about it, that kind of thing. Those things are, the few things that you kind of want to watch live.
Yeah, you
big
just named everything that I don't care about.
The big game and the award ceremonies.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. News.
Yeah, no, and for me too. I mean, so I subscribe to the Hulu Live TV, right? And by the time you back out what I would pay for Hulu normally in the regular subscription, right, it costs me right around $30 a month is about what it costs, right? So that's not too bad. And I too don't like to watch live television hardly at all. Maybe occasionally I'll turn on live news, to watch it. But I don't necessarily need the Hulu Live TV for that. But what it does do, what I like about it, is it broadens, the video on demand, right? It gives you all the video on demand on all the cable channels, as well as like the regular, like Fox, ABC, NBC, all that as well.
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder that, since Hulu's my go-to, and Hulu's the first place I think of when I want to watch something online, when I can finally get access to the Hulu Live, would that one maybe be worth it? Because, moving to Sling or PlayStation View or Dish or whatever, those all require a change in process as well as how I think. You have to reprogram yourself. So maybe I'm not interested in any of that just because it's right now I'm in a Hulu mind space, and so
right,
but I still can't get past that cost. I just don't. I mean,
you got to look at it. You got to look at what you're paying already to Hulu. It's really only going to go up by about maybe $30.
Well, no, but that's the thing. What I'm currently paying for will not be going away, so my bill will be going up $30 to $40 a month. Because.
But if you subscribe to cable, that would be probably a lot more than that, right?
Because let's say PlayStation View is moved up to 40 to 60 range, right? Depending on what you want. And but that, like I said, no matter what it is, whether it's 30 to 40 bucks, that's still 30 to 40 bucks a month, and that is a big chunk of change for a lot of people.
Sure.
When I think of that, that's how many hundreds of dollars over the end of the year. That's like a new device or a new TV or something that I could have bought.
True enough.
When what am I getting for that? Because like I said, it's not going to replace anything. It's not like I could say, oh well, if I spend 30 here, I can cut out 20 in subscriptions over here. Because that other stuff's sticking around.
But the big thing is, like you said before, right? There's no contract to sign, right? So you could always just try it out for a month or two, see if you like it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
see if it's worth that $30 or
See,
not.
and that's why.
And if it's not, you cut it off. If you do like it, well, you just keep it, right?
Yeah. And that's why we have this show, so that we can try this stuff. And it's an excuse that, I really don't want to spend $30 on this, but it's for the sake of the show.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I'm enjoying the Hulu Live. Will I always subscribe to it? I don't know. Maybe something else will come out better that I like better.
Yeah.
Right? But right now, Hulu Live is the one that I'm doing, and just like what Clyde said, there's no contract.
Okay. Well, yeah, those were basically the basic thoughts I was having after I saw that. Did you have any? Was there anything we didn't touch on that you guys want to?
Well,
get out there.
This article is trying to posit that you're still getting TV over internet now, and you're still getting you're basically paying the same, and you're still getting the same stuff. Yes, but it's competition.
That's not the point. It's competition. That's not the point. The user experience is completely different.
Yes, but you can choose different packages, much more menu options available to you. Yes, but you can watch outside of your house. Yes, but it works on other devices besides your TV. I mean, it is a huge difference. It is not traditional television, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I think there is a difference that maybe it's not black and white. Maybe there's many levels of gray here. But it's not the same thing. That's my opinion.
I'll actually put that article into the chat if you guys out there want to check that out. And it was an interesting read. When I first read the title, I was like, okay, because it says never mind the analysts, cord cutting's still not a thing. Which that was the first problem I had with this, is because cord cutting has been an actual thing. This is the first time that you could potentially make the argument that someone that leaves cable for online isn't cutting the cord. But up until about a year ago, that was not the case.
Yep. I agree.
So that's where I stand.
Maybe we should send Alan Watt the article to the 168 million people that have streaming devices article.
Yeah. Because I don't think there are 168 million people using Sling and all of those combined, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look by numbers.
Yeah. Well, you don't have them just like that.
No.
All right. All right. Well, then, you know what? Maybe we should move on to some rants and raves. And it's not going to work because I bumped it earlier.
No.
Oh, well.
No.
Yeah, I bumped it earlier. You can only play it once. So, okay. All right. Rants and raves. Guys, what do you got? Hit me with your best shot.
Matt, you can go first.
Now you got that song stuck in my head. All right, I'm going on vacation. It's going to happen in August. We're going to go. We have actually this. It's kind of sad.
You going to go to Ohio too?
No.
Oh.
I'm going. We are going to go to a funeral, unfortunately. But we're going to.
Doesn't sound like a good vacation.
No, it's not. But we're going to Florida, and we're going to make a day of it out as well. So we're going to try to. We're going to try to make part of it a fun as well. So
so you're going out to visit Jimmy and you didn't tell him, or this is how you're telling him that you're crashing at his house?
No, I'm not crashing. But the question last time we actually went to Florida last year. We weren't planning on going this year, but you got to go. So we remember what we did last time and how horrible the trip was and how we were completely just absolutely hating our in-flight experience and having to have very little things to do on the way there. So I decided I would see what I could do to make our experience better. And so I purchased this little guy. This is a little HP Passport. But there's something special about this one. First of all, you notice there's blue lights. It's running right now. It's wired.
Oh yeah, we talked about is that the one we talked about that like last year? I think at the
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
first
so.
shows. Yeah,
Well, I decided to pick it up because, again, this thing has a Plex server inside of it,
yeah.
Oh,
which is
rock and
awesome.
roll.
Which means on the airplane, we can connect to this thing's Wi-Fi because it has a little Wi-Fi radio in it,
Mhm.
and stream videos off of it, not having to pay for whatever video they have on their thing or whatever. And we can watch whatever we want. And it has a 10-hour battery life. It's
So one thing I was wondering about that. So it so when I assume the wireless is password protected
It
in
is.
order so you have to authenticate to get in.
Yep.
Those are awesome if you have the content.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you've got the content, because like me, I don't own most of the content so I have not a lot to put on there.
That's right. You have to own the content to really enjoy the service. Although Plex can do some pretty awesome things now if you pay for their services. But I'm not. I'm a non-paying Plex user. But I probably will pay for the month because I think you have to have a paying account in order for you to use your mobile devices with the Plex server. I think that's a pay barrier they have. If you have a TV device, works just fine. If you have your computer, it streams just fine. But they keep your phone and your tablet apps away from behind that paywall. But I could pay for 1 month, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation for a month. Here's your $5. Perfectly happy to give that to you as a one well paid for service. Actually, I'd love to pay for the unlimited sometime if I can afford that some month. But the other cool thing about this is it's got 2 radios into it. So once you connect to it, you can then use it to connect to whatever local Wi-Fi you have wherever you are.
So like a bridge.
And it will act as a wireless router bridge for you with firewall.
Okay.
Or you can connect to that network and make it so it can share everything on that network too if you want.
So you can use it to launch a man-in-the-middle attack.
Yes, it can. It's filled with
a
streaming.
la Wi-Fi pineapple.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a pineapple to me.
Actually, I bet you somebody's hacked this thing to do that, but no, I haven't. No, I've been, and so for the past week and a half, I've been grabbing DVDs off shelves and ripping them and putting them on there. So this is the 3 terabyte model. I am not even close to filling it. It's going to be It's going to be great. My son has handed me his DVDs of DuckTales, the original whole series, and I've been okay. I got to rip these and name them all so they show up.
Does he know? Does he know that was on that list you posted earlier? The new version
he
of
reminds me
DuckTales?
every day. DuckTales is coming on August 21st. Like, yes, I know.
It looks weird though.
Yeah,
something about the artistic style.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Whatever. That's my cool thing. That's the thing I'm very excited about. Very happy with it. It's also got. It will also even charge my phone with the internal battery if I need to. It's just it's kind of a multiple use device that can do everything.
So very cool.
That's my little thing. My little fun thing that we decided to get.
And that's Western Digital.
What was the price on that?
That was I bought that on sale at Newegg, of course. This is the My Passport Wireless Pro 3 terabyte model for $170, I think it was.
Oh, not bad at all.
No, for 3 terabyte hard drive, it's actually not that much more expensive. It's a regular wireless hard drive. So
awesome,
very nice.
All right, well, Jimmy, what about you? What you got? What
I have is what I purchased here recently over the weekend. I don't know if the lighting
It's white. That must be a new Apple product.
No, it is. This is a wireless mesh.
Wi-Fi mesh is the thing.
That's the Eero, right?
Eero? The Eero, right? Right. And this is the one that. Am I frozen?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You look good.
Okay, so yeah, it's got the the base one, and then the two remote devices that go out, right? Okay. So yeah, I plugged in. Here what I had is I had a regular router here that I kept in my office here, And then I would have an extender so that my wife works out in the garage here at the house, and so I'd have to have an extender out there to get the signal, the network to get coverage out onto the garage, and that just stopped working for some reason or another. I mean, the router would work, but it just wouldn't stay up. It kept dying all the time. I don't know if it was a router that I had up here in my office or the one downstairs or whatever. I even tried swapping out with my spare router that I keep at the house. Still was the same thing. It would connect for a while and kept dropping out. And I was like, yeah, all right, let me, everybody's raving about these mesh Wi-Fis. And Eero, this is the second generation. They just released this. They released this like July 1st, I believe. And I picked this up at Best Buy. It was $399 was the price. Yeah.
Ow.
So, but well worth it because I could stand in a dead spot. What used to be a dead spot, and I measured over 600 megabytes a second download speed in what used to be a dead spot.
Nice.
So so if you're a cord cutter, and you need good Wi-Fi around the house, I think everybody does. They do have smaller units too. My house is about 2,700 square feet, so I needed the 3 units there to get full coverage around the house. They do have smaller ones. You can get either just the base station by itself, or you can get the base station and one beacon, to go along with it.
And you can add on. How many beacons can you add on to that system?
You can keep adding. I don't know
if there's a limit.
If there's a limit, that's a good question. But as far as I know, you can keep adding beacons on there, right? You know what? I would have to look up the subnet mask to be able to tell you exactly how many IPs would be available on that network. But from what you can add almost as many as you want, But the thing is, when you add one, it automatically joins. Also, too, what's good about this thing? It has both the 2.4 gigahertz band as well as the 5 gigahertz band, and it will automatically route you across either one of those bands depending on what you're doing. So, like, say if you're streaming video, and I've measured it on my Apple TV, that when I stream video down there, it actually transmits across the 5 megahertz band.
Nice. Well, those mesh devices are beginning to become extremely popular, and they are thankfully becoming much smarter because the very first row releases of them, I don't know about the Eero, but many of the other ones when they first came out, were not intelligent at all. They were just basically fancy repeaters, which was not helping anybody at all. But now they're coming out with dedicated backband radios, so you can still get your 2.4 and your 5 gigahertz wherever the beacons are, but that one radio is dedicated to just send information back. And they're being smart about passing your information view from one beacon to another. We cannot see anything but a big white. It's blinding. My eyes. No.
Yeah, so anyway, I was trying to show you the app. It comes with an app and everything.
The secret is to reduce your brightness down to nothing. Bring your brightness all the way down, and then suddenly we can see it on the screen.
Can you do that on an Apple? I know you can do it on my Android.
Yeah, you can. Slide up from the bottom.
Swipe and turn it down.
Slide up from the bottom. Bring it. Almost. Okay. Oh, it's kind of visible now. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, we can see your house.
You can see your reflection.
Oh no, that's your monitor.
Okay.
All right.
So it comes with a Wi-Fi, or it comes with an app where you can configure it. You can do the firmware. When I plugged it up, brand new out of the box, it had to have a firmware update, right? So. But yeah, I like it so far. I mean, I've just bought it just this past weekend, so I've just had a few days now. But yeah, I mean, it's really good, and seems to. Even my wife was talking about that when she streams stuff out in the garage, that it comes in much clearer now than what it used to.
Well, you would expect that and hope that, because the old bridge setup while sometimes it was necessary, was not what you would call reliable or efficient. So, yeah.
Well, a part of my a part of my travel kit with this hard drive thing that I've got here is I also bought the very inexpensive portable Wi-Fi router that's got a wired plug-in, and it has a mode to be a repeater in it. That's super cheap. I can throw that anywhere.
Yeah,
You
that's
can plug
like
it.
because I've got that little Netgear that I've showed you before. It's like maybe about that big.
Right.
I paid like maybe not even $20 for it. And yeah, you can set it up as an access point or a repeater, and it fits in my suitcase well. But then there's also the Karma.
Oh, you got a Karma.
I've had this for a while, but I don't use it anymore because I ended up going unlimited on my cell phone plan. So
There you go.
I have no use for that. But so if anybody needs a Karma, let me know. All right, hey, to wrap this up, there was one thing when I was going through the news this week, looking for stuff that we should talk about. I saw an article and it just pissed me off. I know it's been a while since I've had anything to really to grind on, but Google is changing the Android keyboard. Or they're adding the Android keyboard to Google TV, but they're changing it from a QWERTY to an alphabetical layout.
No. What?
Exactly.
Why,
Right?
why are they doing this?
I don't know. And
I'm certain they're getting feedback about this.
And, and it's like, if I want an Apple device, I will buy an Apple device. Right? Isn't the Apple TV in alphabetical as opposed to the QWERTY? I'm asking Jimmy, not you.
No, it is QWERTY.
Oh, is it QWERTY? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say what's next? Is everything gonna be in caps all the time? But yeah, I don't get it because yes, I have that option on my phone, but on an Android phone, I have the option. I can go in and I can change my keyboard to whatever I want. You can have some weird Dvorak keyboard or some like Klingon keyboard where half the buttons are up at the top and some are like on the side. You can do that, but you can't do that on the Android TV. The fact that I love the Gboard. The Gboard is the Google just plain keyboard. That's what I've been using forever. I'm glad that it's coming to the Android TV, but why?
It's gotta. So I'm guessing that they are showing this as an option, and then they're immediately getting a ton of feedback from people saying, "What the hell, Google?" And they're gonna go ahead and make it an optional setting for you. So, yeah. But like I said, where is my Dvorak keyboard option? Come on.
Yeah, that would be insane with a remote. I mean, it's already insane with a freaking actual with fingers. But yeah, it's just because it feels like we're going backwards because old devices had alphabetical keyboards on like your TiVo or your cable box or stuff that had a rudimentary search feature. A lot of like even the Roku search feature. It's one of the only things I hate about the Roku is they have the alphabetical because you got to fit the keyboard into a square about that big. That makes sense. You're not fitting QWERTY into this little thing. But if it's spread out across the board, right. Because if you look at this picture, where did it go? Up here. So like you can see it here they're going to give you the numbers on this side too. Numbers go on the right side. Number pad is always on the right side, not the left. It's like they want to say, well, you know what? We know we're going to piss you guys off with this. We're just going to go all in.
Looks like there is an option to go with the QWERTY keyboard, or maybe that's just showing what it used to look like.
That's what it used to look like.
Okay.
And
that's stupid.
yeah, so it's like, but the problem is this is what it's going to default to. Even if they eventually, or let's say they do give you the option, why are you setting it as the default? If you have the option to go back, then leave your default to what you're currently using and allow people to change it if they want. Don't force everybody, because that's how you piss off users, and that's how you lose market share. You know, people are already pissed off enough about the lack of innovation with Android TV over the last 2 years. You know, we've gotten some stuff here and there, but not what everybody was promised. And yeah,
my guess is the numbers being on the left there, perhaps they farmed this out to a developer to where his native language goes from right to left.
maybe, yeah. But yeah, so today that's what's really grinding my gears. So, yeah, mirror board for Android TV.
You ever seen Mirrorboard?
Yes.
I've actually tried it, and I'm able to actually use it. The way I had it before was you hold down the space bar to get the mirror keyboard up. My brain can handle it. My brain can do that. So I'm actually I mean, it's definitely not fast, but it's not so weird, so alien that I just I don't know what I'm typing on. And I used to type Dvorak a little bit when I was in high school just to try it out. I never caught on to the point where it was faster than me typing QWERTY. So
no, I just like my split Ergo keyboard. It's getting hard enough for me to find a keyboard.
Oh, you like the splits? Huh?
I do. Well, the thing is, I've been using the split keyboard since '98, so that's just natural now. And I physically can't, because my hand's normally this way. I can't go back to this. It hurts.
Well,
so,
does Microsoft still make a natural?
They do. They're the only ones, but it's USB. It's not wireless.
Well, get something to make it wireless.
Yeah. No, I always had these Logitech ones that I'd pick up and walk around with.
Okay, just keep on the keyboard thing, besides the fact that the IBM keyboard is the best ever. The natural is the best of the split keyboards, by far.
Yeah, because I've got one of Microsoft's older natural wireless ones that it's still hanging on for dear life. See, I'm still using this keyboard that I've got here. I've had since literally 2001, and I can't get it under my microphone. But I've had this thing since 2001. But
yeah, it makes. So for me, it was the fact that the even though it's split, it's also just on many of those Microsoft keyboards. It's also a little bit round.
Yeah,
like your hands on a big beach ball.
Oh,
and that roundness to that, they had it just right. And Microsoft uses Keytronic keyboards for their membrane keyboards, and Keytronic makes a pretty good membrane keyboard. So
it's just clicky enough to get a satisfying feel.
You got good feedback.
Yeah.
So
QWERTY rage, indeed. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you have not taken the Diamond Club TV survey, go out right now to dctv.link/2017 and let us know what you think. Are there features you love? Why? Are there features you hate? Tough. Nah, just kidding. We want to know why. Yeah, let us know so that, people don't waste time developing new versions of something that nobody's going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or we waste our time developing for something that nobody uses and we put off the thing that everybody actually wanted. So,
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. Oh, and Jotman says everyone should, in the survey, should recommend that we write it in WordPress. No, we are not doing that. Sorry, Jotman. I love you, but we can't do that. All right. Hey, no, thank you so much for hanging out. Jotman and everybody out there in the chat room. Will, I see Nightfire's there. Nightfire just joined. I'll thank him anyway. Thanks for hanging out. We will be back again next week, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Diamond Club TV. For past episodes, go on over to YouTube and search for the VOD Squad. You will find us. Subscribe, like, do all the YouTube things that you're supposed to do, required by social contract.
Thumbs up, hit reminders,
send
comments, tell us good stuff, send us money, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
If you want to send us money, let us know, and I will give you an account that you can wire that to in the Caymans.
Sure.
Or maybe it's Panama. I don't know. NSA is listening. I'm not going to tell you the right place anyway. All right.
They want their cut, man.
Absolutely. They ain't getting it. All right. And on that note, I am out of here. I've got to go run and hide. So I will check you guys later. Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.